You are holding a sweater that has been sitting on a chair for a year. Today, you put it away in the closet, and that small gesture can say more about you than an hour of painful reflection. We often try to understand who we are first, and only then live differently. But the trap is easy to notice. After a long inner conversation, there is no more clarity, and a task is postponed again. The first way out is visible action. This is not a call to urgently remake yourself. It is about collecting evidence the old opinion can no longer argue with. Your idea of yourself rarely sounds like one clear sentence. It hides inside conclusions. I drop everything. I don't know how to take care of myself. This always happens with me. You got tired, canceled a walk, skipped food, and turned episodes into an identity card. The cost shows up in small things. Your hand puts the item back on the chair, because there will be no order anyway. You do not get water because I can't keep a routine. You do not start a task because you picture collapse. A thought about yourself stops observing and starts choosing for you. By the end of this conversation, a perfect new version of you will not appear, but a calmer feeling may. I do not have to solve myself completely to make the next good choice. We will look at why actions persuade more strongly than self-esteem, and how to begin gently. The abstract question, "Who am I?" demands too large an answer. You remember wins, failures, judgments, and promises you did not keep. With no criterion, the mind chooses painful episodes and presents them as the result. Lazy, weak, disorganized. You cannot verify that sentence, and you can argue with it forever. The trap gets stronger when you wait for the right feeling before acting. First, you have to believe in yourself, find motivation, get rid of doubt, and only then take care of your body or finish what you started. Waiting leaves you without new experience, and the old conclusion gets confirmed. Imagine an evening after a hard day. The kitchen is piled with dishes, the table has crumbs on it, your shoulders are tight, your legs ache. The thought appears, I let the house go again. If you accept that as truth, only two extremes remain. Leave everything until tomorrow, or use your last strength to deep clean. In the morning, one leaves irritation. The other puts you to bed late and turns care into punishment. There is a third option. You wash one plate and one cup, wipe the place where you will eat breakfast, and stop. The kitchen has not become perfect, but now there is a fact. While tired, you made your morning easier without a heroic effort. It is more modest than a vow, but harder to argue with. It happened. Here is the turn. An action does not have to match a whole new identity. It only has to contradict the old sentence in one place. Someone who thinks they never finish anything can complete one task for 7 minutes. Someone who says, I don't protect myself, can eat on time because hunger is making them scattered. This scale is easy to devalue. One cup does not create order. One lunch does not create a habit. One refusal does not create strong boundaries. But a single action does not have to transform you instantly. Its job is to open an action that used to seem unlike you. Repetition turns it into data, and it is better not to invent the new opinion of yourself in advance. The phrase, "Now I am a disciplined person," creates an image you will have to defend. It is more reliable to say, 3 times this week, I did what I promised in the amount I chose. No persuasion, only a date, an action, and a boundary. Suppose you've been putting off care for your back. On Saturday, you buy a mat, find a difficult routine, and last 40 minutes. The next day, your muscles hurt, and the mat goes under the bed. You chose evidence available only in a special state, when there is time and determination. Tuesday could not repeat it. Consistency begins where an action survives an ordinary day, not your most collected one. 2 clear minutes of movement after washing your face can give more than a rare, heroic routine. You meet yourself in real life and keep the agreement again. Evidence has to be kind in form. If behavior is built on insults and fear, it confirms the old idea. I can only be handled by force. You can finish a task by skipping lunch and calling yourself worthless. The result will be visible. Support will not increase. Calm care looks quieter. You notice you are reading the same line for the 3rd time. Lower your shoulders, close the document for 10 minutes, and go outside without chasing a step record. When you come back, you decide whether you can continue. You are stopping the habit of treating yourself as a broken tool. One good choice does not erase years of experience. Tomorrow, you may order food instead of cooking, drop your things, or agree to an inconvenient request. The old opinion will say, "There is the real you." But returning to the familiar does not cancel the new facts. It shows where the new way is weaker. So study the conditions, not the personality. What came before the slip? 5 hours of sleep, a missed meal, a task that was too large, no simple option. A sentence closes the case. Observation helps change the next episode. Instead of "I am hopeless," there appears, "In the evening, I need a smaller version." Gradually, the inner argument grows quieter. You do not have to prove that you are always collected or attentive to yourself. It is enough to remember, "I stopped before exhaustion. I came back after a miss. I did a small promised thing without help from mood." Next to self-esteem, there are now checkable events. That is how support returns, not as constant confidence, but as the knowledge that in an ordinary situation you can choose an action that does not match the automatic reaction. Doubt and fatigue may remain, but they no longer decide for you. For the next 24 hours, choose one situation where the old opinion turns on automatically. Not your whole life or the problem of the year. Evening mess, a missed lunch, a postponed walk. State the conclusion briefly. I always put off taking care of myself. This is not the truth, but a version to test. Assign one observable action, small enough for a tired day. Not start living normally, but prepare breakfast the night before. Not become organized, but put away 5 things before bed. Not take care of my health, but move for 2 minutes. You need a clear beginning, a clear end, and no punishment. After you do it, do not check it against your mood. Write down, "On Tuesday I did this, even though I wanted to put it off." It should be easier to name the fact than to argue about character. If guilt remains because the action was small, it is turned into an exam. Give it back a human size. If it did not work, do not increase the pressure. Make the action smaller or move it to a more reliable moment. Maybe in the evening, you do not have the strength for 5 things, but you can put away 1 right after complex. What matters is not a flawless streak, but an honest return after a miss. A mistake no longer defines the whole next day. Keep the choice for 3 ordinary days, not for a number or a new label. 3 observations are enough for a calm objection to appear beside "I am always like this." Not always. And behind it, space opens for the next decision. Reflection is useful while it helps you notice a choice. But when it spends hours rotating the same accusations, life remains without material that can change the conclusion. You do not have to feel different first. You need one action after which the old phrase becomes a little less accurate. Today it may be a sweater put away, food prepared, a short task completed, or a refusal to work through exhaustion. Choose not the most impressive option, but the one that makes life easier without violence toward yourself. Make it small enough to notice your own reliability. When the old opinion speaks again, do not try to shout over it. Remember a specific day and action. The image of yourself loves general words. Real life answers with facts.